Hello friends, welcome you all to the current event session for UPSC Prelims 2021. From today onwards, we are going to start this brand new series which will be focused towards the prelims that we are going to appear in the month of June 2021. So first point about this question, current event is what is 3RF framework? On this point, you could get a question in disaster management topic of UPSC mains, or you could get a question for UPSC prelims. What is 3RF framework? It is basically related with the explosion that occurred in capital of Lebanon, Beirut, on in the month of August 2020. What it is? Let's go for it. See, it is about the Beirut explosion on August 4, 2020. A deadly blast at Beirut, which is the capital of Lebanon, which killed more than 200 people and which made more than 1 million people homeless, was a devastating experience. This led to protests amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Eventually, the Prime Minister of Lebanon Hassan Diab, resigned. The blast was due to ammonium nitrate that was stored in a warehouse. So, first point from prelims point of view, you should get in details about what are the chemical composition of ammonium nitrate, who discovered it, what are the uses, what are the misuses of ammonium nitrate. You can treat ammonium nitrate as a potential substance for question in UPSC prelims. Then, in this case, in this scenario, the World Health Organization has appealed for 15 million US dollar emergency cover to the world following the explosion. Following the appeal, India had also sent a humanitarian aid to Lebanon. Then this led to emergence of a new 3RF formula. What is 3RF? So it is basically a framework. Remember, it is basically a framework that will assess the level of incoming support against the needs of the population of the country. It will focus on the most vulnerable people in the country. Apart from recovery and reconstruction, the framework will also focus on addressing the root causes of the crisis. So here basically 2R of these 3RF is, one is framework, second is recovery, third one is reconstruction. This 3RF plan, it aims to reconstruct port facilities that were being damaged, devastated by explosion, rehabilitation of district affected by explosion, and integration of the port facility with the city is most important objective. Then what about funds? So remember, the revitalization plan is to be supported by multi-donor trust fund established by World Bank, European Union and United Nations. The funds are to be utilized for prioritized area under this 3RF framework. Now what it says, this 3RF plan, it has prioritized health, good governance, education, housing, social protection, culture and heritage. The plan will pay immediate attention to the needs of small and medium-sized enterprises. Whatever I discussed in these few minutes, everything can be used in your UPSC mains answer. Now what the port facilities have to go for? The port facilities of the city are to be reconstructed with keywords manage better, rebuild better and decide in a transparent manner. Now this line, manage better, rebuild better and decide in a transparent manner, you could get a potential topic for essay, or I would suggest you write an essay on manage better, rebuild better and decide in a transparent manner. What is the background of this entire issue? Lebanon is currently under high financial bankruptcy. The current poverty rate of Lebanon is 55%. Just imagine. It was 28% 12 months ago. In spite of this scenario, the necessary reforms remain blocked due to political instability in the Lebanon. Second is a point about top 20 police stations announced by Ministry of Home Affairs. This is a part of your public administration optional. This can be used a very good case study. India's top 10 police stations for 2020. Here remember, Ministry of Home Affairs has released a list of top 10 police stations in India for the year 2020. Now here, what could be the potential question for UPSC prelims? See, UPSC will never ask you which are the top 3 police stations or which are the top 10 police stations in India. UPSC will select a city where the top police station is located and UPSC will ask you question about that city. So you have to understand how UPSC goes for this question work. See, here it is. First thing, The government of India selects best performing police stations across the country every year. This exercise is being conducted every year to incentivize more effective functioning of police stations and bring healthy competition among them. Now here most important point, why Ministry of Home Affairs is responsible for selecting these 20 police stations, because the police stations is a part of law and order administration, and law and order administration is a part of internal security, and Ministry of Home Affairs is the in charge of internal security, so it is responsibility of Ministry of Home Affairs. Here remember, the list was in accordance with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's directions while addressing 2015 Director General of Police Conference in the Gujarat. Here are the top 10 police stations. Nangpok Sekmai, it is in Thobul, Manipur. AWPS Surmangalam, it is in Salem, Tamil Nadu. Kharsang, it is in Changlang, Arunachal Pradesh. So top 3 states are Manipur, Tamil Nadu, Arunachal Pradesh. Then Jhilimili, it is in Surajpur, Chhattisgarh. Then Sangyum, South Goa, Goa. Then 6th one is Kalighat, North and Middle Andaman, Nicobar Island. 7th one is Pakyong, East District of Sikkim. 8th one is Kanth, it is in Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh. 9th one is in Khanvel, that is in Dadra Nagar Haveli. And 10th one is Jammi Kunta town, Karimnagar of Telangana. Then next is again important case study and a potential part for question in UPSC prelims. It is about Nisarga Gram. Let's see what this Nisarga Gram is. Here, remember, Ministry of Ayush, the full form of Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha and Hasta. So here, Ministry of Ayush will develop Nisarga Gram campus at Pune as the 21st century abode of naturopathy. So it is developed by Ayush. Nisarga Gram is related with naturopathy. So here what it says, this is a simple picture about naturopathy. What it says, invoking recollections of Mahatma Gandhi's famous Nature Cure campaign of 1946. You could get a question on Mahatma Gandhi's Nature Cure campaign of 1946 at the Nisarga Upchar Ashram in Uruli Kanchan village near Pune. The upcoming new campus of National Institute of Naturopathy, Pune, will be called Nisarga Gram. Here, this particular campus is located at a distance of 15 km from National Institute of Naturopathy's present premises at Bapu Bhavan. The new institution will be future ready with many novelties and innovations incorporated in the project per se, and the curriculum of the naturopathy courses will be provided at Nisarga Gram. Some important information from examination. National Institute of Naturopathy, Pune, is an autonomous body which works under Ministry of Ayush. The institution was called All India Nature Cure Foundation and it was set up under Gandhiji's leadership in 1945 at the same premises where NIN presently functions. Later on, subsequently, it was taken over by the central government and structured into present National Institution of Naturopathy. Then, next important news is about the Ericsson's mobility report given by Swedish company Sony Ericsson. What it says? It says, India, which has the highest average monthly mobile data traffic per smartphone. It means average India's every smartphone consumes maximum amount of data, is expected to surpass 350 million 5G subscribers by 2026, accounting for 27% of all mobile subscriptions in the country, according to a report by Swedish telecom equipment maker Ericsson. And what it says, see, as per the Ericsson Mobility Report 2020, 4 out of every 10 mobile subscriptions in 2026 will be 5G, globally with 5G subscription forecast to reach 3.5 billion. By 2026, 3.5 billion mobile subscriptions will have 5G connections. Here in India, in the Indian region, long-term evolution technology subscriptions are forecast to increase from 710 million in 2020 to 820 million in 2026, by which time 3G will be phased out. Also in India, the reliance of people on mobile network to stay connected as well as work from home during pandemic has resulted in average traffic per smartphone user rising from 13.5 GB a month. It means in India, average every phone uses 13.5 GB data in a month in 2019. It has risen to 15.7 GB data in 2020, the highest globally. Just imagine. Then where is productivity? Why we are lagging in innovation? Why we are lagging in all kinds of patents and all kinds of intellectual property rights? Why? Because the use of the data that we are using is for useless purposes and not for educational purposes. Then next important thing which is in news, it is about nuclear magnetic resonance test. Very important. It is about nuclear magnetic resonance test conducted by Center for Science and Environment to check about adulteration of sugar syrup in honey. We'll go in details of this thing. Honey marketed by prominent Indian honey brands failed a key test of purity, the Center for Science and Environment has claimed, citing an investigation it conducted in Germany. This is a pictograph. I will just read out important data. CSE, that is Center for Science and Environment, it has used nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Remember the name of test? I repeat once again. It has used nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy to detect adulteration in Indian samples in Germany. It found it adulterates samples of pure honey by mixing 25, 50% and 75% of modified sugar syrup used to bypass purify test, and also collected 22 samples of branded honey from the market. What are the findings? All samples of honey have been adulterated up to 50%, have passed India's 2020 FSSAI standards, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India standards. Now here one important homework for you for prelims 2021. First, get in detailed information about this Center for Science and Environment. You will definitely get a question in UPSC prelims on Center for Science and Environment. Second, get in touch or getting information about Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Second important finding, of the 22 branded honey sample collected from the market, 17 brands have found to be adulterated with sugar syrup. 17 brands. Just imagine the level of adulteration. Honey sample from leading brands failed nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy test. Of the 13 brands, only 3 have passed all tests. It is serious, very serious for your health. Then some more information about it. Current regulations specify around 18 parameters that honey must comply with for producers to label it as a pure honey. Most brands passed muster, but when subjected to one test called nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy that was done at a lab in Germany, only 3 brands passed. What are those 3 brands? Saffola, Markfed Sohna and Nature's Nectar. Remember, if you want to purchase, also you can refer these things. Saffola, Markfed Sohna and Nature's Nectar. There were often multiple samples tested for each brand. Some important information. Nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy test can ascertain the composition of a product at the molecular level. The NMR test is not required by Indian law for honey that is being marketed locally but is needed for export. It means we can eat substandard, while exporting we should export standard things. Then next important is news about bilateral relations between India and USA. It is about India and US have signed a memorandum of understanding MOU on intellectual property cooperation. They have signed an important agreement on intellectual property cooperation. What it says? See, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Ministry of Commerce and Industry have signed Memorandum of Understanding with US Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce of the USA. These two departments' name could be asked in the examination. Then, Union Cabinet in its meeting on 19th February this year has given approval for signing the MOU with US Patent Trade Office in the field of intellectual property cooperation. This MOU, it aims at increasing intellectual property cooperation between the two countries. What it says, it talks specifically, it will facilitate the exchange and dissemination of best practices, best experiences and knowledge on IP among the public and between the and among the industry, universities, research and development organization and small medium enterprises. Then next important is about Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee meeting, its key highlight. Before moving forward, one very important thing, Monetary Policy Committee was established on the recommendation of Monetary Policy Framework Agreement Committee led by Urjit Patel Committee. It said that a Monetary Policy Committee should be there. Now one important thing, monetary policy is framed by Monetary Policy Committee. I repeat once again, monetary policy is framed by Monetary Policy Committee, and most importantly, the recommendations of Monetary Policy Committee are binding upon the Reserve Bank of India. So let's go into what are the key highlights of Monetary Policy Committee. RBI has recently held its Monetary Policy Committee meet. During the meet, Reserve Bank of India has kept the repo rate unchanged. What is repo rate? The rate at which RBI gives loan to commercial bank on a short-term basis is a repo rate. Repo rate is again of two types. When this loan is given by Reserve Bank of India to commercial bank for 24 hours, it is called as overnight repo, and the rate charged for this overnight repo is called as overnight repo rate. Whereas when the loan is given by Reserve Bank of India to commercial bank for a time frame of 2 days to 56 days, it is called as term repo, and the rate charged is term repo rate. Remember, second concept is reverse repo. In repo rate, we have seen RBI gives loan to commercial bank, whereas in reverse repo rate, it is commercial bank which gives loan to Reserve Bank of India. Repo rate is the repo rate at which RBI lends to bank. The reverse repo rate is to continue at 3.35%. What are the key highlights of Monetary Policy Committee? The meetings concluded that accommodative stance of the monetary policy is to continue. Accommodative stance means Apex Bank will keep cutting rates in order to inject money into the financial system. When interest rates are reduced, automatically loan becomes cheaper. When loan becomes cheaper, people take more and more loan. They increase their economic activity. Increase in economic activity will increase money in the hands of people. It will increase purchasing power. When the accommodative stance of bank is addressed as neutral, it means that RBI may alter rates in any direction to control the flow of the currency in the country. Now here, and the stance of RBI will be discussed. It is important. Accommodative stance, it is neutral. All these parts will be discussed. The next one is the bank rate and the marginal standing facility rate were kept unchanged at 4.25%. Remember, what is bank rate? The rate at which RBI gives loan to commercial bank on a long-term basis is a bank rate. Here remember, repo rate is a short-term rate, bank rate is a long-term rate. Bank rate and marginal standing facility rate, both these rates are penal interest rate. Real GDP for the year 2020-21 has been projected at minus 7.5%. Remember, when you count GDP at base year prices, it is called as real GDP. It means when you count the value or the prices of goods and services at base year prices, it is real GDP, and this real GDP has been counted at minus 7.5%, whereas nominal GDP, when GDP is counted at a price of at base of current year prices, it is a nominal GDP. The quarter 3 GDP of 2021 was projected to grow at 0.1%. In quarter 4, the GDP is expected to grow at 0.7%. Here another important finding, the CPI inflation, that is Consumer Price Index inflation for quarter 3 was projected at 6.8% and for quarter 4 at 5.8%. The limit of contactless card transaction has been raised from 2,000 to 5,000 rupees. Now, what is meaning of contactless transaction? See, you must have seen few advertisement. Normally, when you are using card at a swipe machine, you swipe that card or you insert that card into that machine. It is not contactless transaction. You must have seen advertisement of that Kapoor. I don't remember the name of the actor. He places his card on that machine and automatically money get deducted. It is called as contactless transaction. So right now, the limit for contactless transaction has been 2,000 rupees per transaction. It has been raised to 5,000 rupees from January 2021. The RTGS, that is real-time gross settlement. RTGS is one of the method for transferring amount from one bank to another bank. RTGS, and second one is NEFT. NEFT stands for National Electronic Fund Transfer. So government is working, RBI is working to make RTGS system 24/7 free in few days. Next is about inflation. During COVID-19 crisis, the inflation had remained consistently above the upper end of RBI's target inflation of 4 plus minus 2, that is maximum 6 and minimum 2%. The retail inflation calculated based on CPI continued to rise till October 2020, reaching 7.61%. This is the highest retail inflation since May 2014. In May 2014, it was 8.33%. So this is a serious thing. Then what are the GDP projection by RBI? In October, RBI in its Monetary Policy Committee said that the real GDP growth of India is to be at minus 9.5%. Right? This is being called as V-shaped recovery. But in July, in quarter 2, that is in July, August and September of 2020, the GDP contracted by 7.5% as compared to 2019. It contracted by 23.9% in quarter 1 due to impact of COVID-19 as compared to 2019. This is being called as V-shaped recovery. It reflects rapid resilience of Indian economy. You could get a potential question on what is the meaning of V-shaped recovery in Indian economy. So this was all about the current event. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to work more and more on current event. Thank you very much. Have a good day. We'll meet soon. We are going to meet every day in the night at 8 p.m. in the night. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.